Hey everyone, Brooke here. I hope wherever you are in the world, today is treating you well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the plumbing apprenticeship program through the union. So this video is helpful for those who are looking to enter a trade school, don't know where to start, don't know where to begin, don't know anything about a trade school, and don't know what to expect. So hopefully, whether you're looking to become an electrician, HVAC plumber, welder, steam fitter, whatever type of trade you're looking to enter through an apprenticeship program, hopefully this video can help you. Now, before I begin with today's video, if you like videos like this, if you like the different style videos that I post here on this channel, please do leave a comment below, introduce yourself, and I look forward to seeing you around other videos. But with that said, let me jump into today's video. Now, today I want to talk about the plumbing apprenticeship program, and this can loosely be applied to other apprenticeships. Especially being in the field, I've heard how other apprenticeships work, and I will do my best to give you an idea of what an apprenticeship program is, what it entails, how to get into one, and what to expect when you join one. So I'll give you my perspective, my experience thus far with being in an apprenticeship program, and at the end I'll give you the pros and cons and what my real feelings are of being in an apprenticeship program as I'm starting my third year next month. So before I tell you what to expect from an apprenticeship program, first I'm going to tell you what an apprenticeship program is. This is all going to be from a union perspective, since that's my experience. There's also non-union sectors that offer different types of apprenticeship programs, like through an ABC program and whatnot, but I don't know much about that, so I'm going to keep it with what I know, which is a union apprenticeship program. Now, an apprenticeship program is a school. It's trade school. It's going to school a few nights a week. Some unions do it differently depending on what you're going to school for. Some may have one day a week as a full day of school, others have at night. So for example, for my local union here in New York, for the plumbers union, it's 2 nights a week. Now, every year that changes. Year one, I was a Wednesday and Thursday. Year two, I was a Tuesday and Thursday night. Year three, it's looking like I'm going to be a Monday and Tuesday night. So it always changes, and it's usually around 4 hours per night. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it can roll over to be a few minutes more, but generally speaking, on average, it's going to be about 3.5 to 4 hours per night. So you're looking to invest about 7 to 8 hours a week of your time in schooling. Now, what the apprenticeship program does is that it teaches you book work and it teaches you shop work. And it's supposed to help you with the trade that you're going to school for, that you're starting a career with. Now, the way the program works, and I'll speak from the plumber's perspective, the apprenticeship program perspective, is that you go to school 2 nights a week, and during your schooling you learn and do book work, do shop work, but then during the day you work for a contractor. Now, the thing that's nice about an apprenticeship program is that you don't pay for school, you don't pay a dime for school, but what you sign up for is working for a contractor. And a lot of times when you get laid off, you just go to another contractor. Like, the nature of the construction industry is a lot of times you'll get laid off. You'll bounce from one shop to another. Some people may stay with the same shop their whole apprenticeship. Some people may join 10 shops, during their apprenticeship. And I'm actually on break right now, so I'm just going to keep looking at my clock. But that's pretty much how it goes. So, like, let's say year one, when I started year one, I started working for a company, and I worked for them for almost a year. Or actually a little over a year. So it was a full year, me going to work Monday through Friday during the day, and then 2 nights a week I went to school. Now, obviously, you're learning the most on the field. So like when you're working, that's when you're really learning. The book work is important. It's good to learn different systems. It's good to learn different ways to get the same effect as like private plumbers or non-union plumbers. But the schooling really does have a lot to offer. They talk a lot about why the union's important, and that's one part of the school. They talk a lot about like different systems, they talk a lot about how to do different things. So like, for example, like, finding the takeoff of a fitting, like, instead of playing with your tape measure for 10 minutes, like, you can just do a simple math problem and figure it out. So school will really teach you shortcuts and more professional ways to do different things. So that's something that I really like about going to school. But I will say that, it is a commitment. It is a commitment. I'll get into that in a moment. But that's what an apprenticeship program is. It literally is you going to school at night and you working during the day for different contractors, learning your trade. Now, not all unions are created equally, and not all apprenticeship programs are created equally. So like, for example, I believe it's I want to say the operating engineers, those people who drive big backhoes and, you know, they're using diggers and all different types of skid steers and things like that. They're mechanics. So their program's actually a little different. Like they only have 3 years of school and they don't have a paid apprenticeship program. Whereas with the union that I'm in, it's 5 years of school and you do have a paid apprenticeship program. Now, you know, for what we're doing for plumbers and for a lot of times for electricians as well, I think they may be 6 years electricians. I could be wrong, but it's 5 years of schooling for the plumbers. So a lot of people will be like, that's crazy. Why would I spend 5 years when I can just spend a couple more years and then become a doctor? But a lot of people sleep on plumbing. They really do. They don't realize how much goes into plumbing. It's more than like kitchens, sinks, baths, toilets. It's way more than that. You know, I actually have only worked on 2 toilets in my entire apprenticeship, and I'm starting my 3rd year next month. Like, I have not dealt with any type of toilets whatsoever. I've put a sink together. I've done things like that. But really with like commercial plumbing and residential plumbing, service plumbing, they're 2 different beasts, you know? And a lot of people don't realize that plumbing is just so much more than what you would think it is. It's sanitation systems, it's sewage systems, it's, you know, you have full like power plants. I mean, there's a lot of sewage treatment plants rather. There's so much that goes into it. Medical gas in the hospitals, you know, all that gas needs to be piped out. There are people in the union that don't ever touch toilets. They literally only do med gas. There's welding. There's literally so much that's involved in plumbing. And a lot of people just don't realize that, you know, but when I first joined the plumbers union, I was like, 5 years is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? What am I doing? But as I'm going through the program, I'm starting to see, oh, water heaters, boilers, you know, reading plans. Like there's so much that goes into plumbing. So now I'm starting to say that I don't even think 5 years is enough. I feel like you're not really a master plumber until like 8 or 10 years. But I'm glad it's just 5 years because, you know, it's a lot. I'll learn the rest on the field. But with that said, that is what you can expect from a trade school, right? From a trade school like plumbers, electricians, HVAC, there's so many others. There's carpentry. I think carpentry's 3 years or 4 years here in New York. I could be wrong about that. I talk to a lot of different people in different trades on the job sites. I try to make friends with everybody. I feel like everybody can teach me something, and hopefully I can do the same for them. So I'm always looking to meet new people, especially because a lot of these guys, they can help me move stuff. You know, there's things that I just cannot move that I'm like dragging. I was dragging this full length 20-foot 6-inch PVC pipe, and I pulled something in my leg. It's not anything like too crazy, but like even today I'm lifting something up and I'm like, my back's cracking. I'm like, I need to be friends with the rest of these guys, all these masons that are walking around super jacked, you know? But with that said, we usually talk about different things, and I find out about programs like the A program, the B program. There's just so many things to learn, right? But with that said, that's what the trade school entails. Now I'll tell you what you do to get into a trade school. Now, the way that I got into the trade school, I'm just looking at my cameras getting all crazy. I'm on lunch break right now, but because I'm fasting, I'm not eating lunch. I'm doing this video. Now, to get into the trade school program is a little different than how I got into it. Well, I got into it the same way everybody else does, but the way that I came about it was through a gentleman at my non-union welding job. He was in the union for 40 years. He's still currently in the union, 71 years old. God bless him. But he was telling me a lot about the union for like the last 2 years. And I'm like, before I joined. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, but plumbing's not for me. And he was like, listen, it's more than what you think, right? There's a lot more that goes into it. And then he's telling me about, you know, just your benefits, your insurance, things that I just was not getting at my other job. Like, I was getting paid decent, but I wasn't getting like any type of benefits. You know, I get hurt, that's it. I can't work, I can't produce work, I'm not getting paid for it. So there's really no protections, right? And, you know, especially since being in the union, I'm seeing a lot more reasons why people should have unions, like why more companies should unionize, why people should fight for unionization. But I'll get into that in another video. There's a lot of politics involved with that, but it really shouldn't be political. It's really just about like, you know, you work hard and you should have protections, you know, like your insurance, you know, your pension, your annuity. Like, you make these contractors a lot of money. You should be getting something out of that. You know what I mean? Especially if you're working hard, you're going to work every day, all that stuff. But how it works with actually getting into a union. Now, I found out from that gentleman about a union, and he had talked to people, and they had told me when to come in, when to apply, all this stuff. But unions, again, do things differently. So for example, my local union here on Long Island, they have an open enrollment every single year, and it's only for a few days out of the year. And they have hundreds of applicants, whereas there's a 628 in Manhattan, which is sprinklers, and they have like open enrollment like every 4 years, and there'll be thousands of people that'll apply, and they'll only have like 200 people, 300 people that they're accepting. It's really wild. It's crazy. Sometimes not even that much. They might only be accepting 300 applications and then actually only picking 60 people. Like, and the same thing with the electricians. Same thing. New York is very competitive with construction unions. But what you do is you go on your state website. So for New York, newyork.labor.gov, and they'll have a whole section of like unions that are hiring by trade. Carpentry, HVAC, electricians, plumbers, steam fitters, all different types of fields. Masons, they have a painters union. They have many different types of fields. And they'll tell you when they're allowing you to submit an application. So you go there, you submit an application. Generally, you have to wait online, and then you submit an application, and they'll get back to you whether you were accepted, whether they were filled the positions, or if they want you to come in for an interview. So I came in for an interview, and I must have done pretty well, because I got an acceptance letter about a month later. And I remember I was so scared when I got the acceptance letter, and my husband was like, this is really good for our family. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't think I can do it. I don't think I could do it. It's crazy. Like, what am I doing? I'm going into plumbing. Like, what the hell's wrong with me, And I was just like, you know what, though? There was a part of me that was like, it's new. Just do it. Just, you want to learn things. You want to excel as a person. You want to have more things to offer, employers. Like, then just do it. Just put your head down and work hard, right? This is for your family. And I always have to remind myself, like, things are hard, but there's always reasons why I do what I do, So with that said, I signed up for the union, and then due to COVID, we didn't start in September, we started in January. So I had a year and a half of no breaks. And it's funny because I'm going on my third year of my apprenticeship program. And now the younger apprentices, like the guys who were in the first year, they're all complaining about having no summer. And I'm like, I was there last year. So it's just funny. But anyway, that in a nutshell is pretty much how it works. The apprenticeship program, there's definitely cons to it, okay? It takes a lot of your time. It's long. There's definitely a major learning curve dealing with different people, especially people who don't want to work with you. I have different challenges than other men have, and vice versa. Some guys don't want to work with me at all. Some guys baby me, don't let me do anything, which that doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. A lot of times I get hazed, where I'll go on a job site and these guys are giving me way too much that I can't do. You know what I mean? So I usually have to set the tone. Like, hey, listen, like, I'm just here to feed my family. I'm not trying to take anyone's job. Just put me to work. Let me do something that's realistic, But that's just with anything. I feel like that's just with any job that you get into. It's not just like a thing that like construction workers deal with. But it's just kind of juggling personalities, really, and there's just difficult people out there. There's some really awesome people out there, and that just comes with any field. Another thing is that, one thing I wanted to touch on is, I hope this video is helpful. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to, pull things out of my head to be helpful in this video. But the thing with the apprenticeship program is that when you sign up, year one, I'm not going to use real totals, but let's say you're making like not a lot of money, right? You're making $10 an hour, let's say, which is not what the plumbers pay, but let's just say that's what it is. $10 an hour you're making year one. Every year you have to make a certain amount of hours, right? So after 600 hours of working, you get insurance. After 1,700 hours and passing a full year of your apprenticeship program, that's when you get an upgrade. So year one may be $10. Year two, you may make $13. Year three, you might go up to $19. Year four, you might go to $25. Year five, you might go to $40. There's like big jumps, and that's not even, I'm just throwing numbers out there. It could be $10 year one and then $19 year two, or $15 year two, whatever. It goes up like $5 to $8 a year. So it's nice. And then the last 2 years, that's when you really see your big increases. So again, another con is it's a lot of hours. You got to work 1,700 hours every year. So like, for example, I'm only getting paid year two in the next 2 weeks because it just, from when I started with my contractor, and then when I had off for a few months, so like sometimes you get laid off, and so it takes time. It takes time to build that up. But it's great. It's great because every year you're getting better, you're learning more, you're making more money. And then let's say even if you're making only $10 for the year one, you really are making $25 because $15 of that you're not seeing because it's going into your benefits. And that's the beauty of being in a union. A lot of people have things against collective bargaining or the way some unions are ran, but I will say that the union that I'm in, these people do the best that they can, especially with just what's going on in the world, you know what I mean? Like with inflation, with taxes, with things that are just crazy. It's very difficult for people to afford just the cost of living. I feel like being in a union really does set you up, at least give you something for your future, right? So that's just my opinion. Again, I'm only in this a couple years, but from what I'm seeing every single year, I'm seeing the need. Like, yeah, I wish more people could take advantage of being in a union because I feel like it's really important to have people represent you. You know what I mean? And then you have a bunch of people together fighting for a better life. And plumbers make great money. And that's another thing too. Like with going into an apprenticeship program, I guess we're going into the pros. You make fantastic money. You get great benefits. You learn a trade where you can do side work. Don't tell anybody I told you that because apparently that's like a curse word in the union. Don't talk about side work, but there are a lot of people that do side work and they make a killing. It's just a great way to provide for your family. And for me, I'm working 8-hour days. So it's hard because especially when my kids are off and I'm not off and I always feel bad, but I'm providing for them. So when they're going to school, I can pick them up. I pick them up from school. I pick my dog up. That's going to be my plan moving forward. I'm going to have my dog in doggy daycare around the corner. Fingers crossed I don't get laid off. And I'm going to pick him up and then I'm going to pick up my girls. And then it's as if they were at school all day and I was at work. So it's like a nice work-life balance, You're working a full day, but you're not working 9 to 5 or, 10 to 6. And you don't have all these crazy hours, you're working pretty good hours. And some jobs, like the job I was on for over a year, it was 7 hours. So I was working from 7 to 2, But because of the program, I like the idea of working 8 hours because those extra 5 hours a week, it does add up at the end of the month. 20 hours getting thrown into my raise fund. But another thing too is that, with the union that I'm in, we get something called vacation checks. So there's pennies on the dollar taken out of every check every hour. And that you get a vacation check twice a year. So it's kind of like a little piggy bank where you'll just randomly get a check. Oh, sweet, $1,000 every 6 months, depending on how much you work. So there's a lot of benefits, really so many benefits of being in an apprenticeship program. And there's no bills. You're coming out making 6 figures and you're not paying an insane college student loan. You're just not. You're not taking out all these crazy loans and topping out at $30. You're making literally almost double that, more than that. For example, yeah, you're close to 70 an hour, it's after you become a journeyman. So it's something that's great. And there's also so many things that you can do in the union, aside from just being a laborer, just being a plumber, you can you can run for office, you can become a business agent, you can start your own contracting company, and you can be employing those who are inside the union, you know what I mean? There's so many different things. I love that there's so many opportunities. For me, I really want to see how far I can go. I love the idea of becoming a plumber. I really want to get my plumber's license and then I'll just take it from there. Maybe I'll want to try to get into the school side of things, help run the school. Maybe I want to get into the union side of things, or maybe I just want to start my own plumbing business and I'll do that. And it's the same thing with electricians. You have a lot of opportunities. I remember I met a woman. Her name was MJ. I always remembered it because she's like, it's like Michael Jackson. And she was year 5. I was year 1. And she was like, it went so fast. She was telling me about her kids. And she was already, the thing that the union does too is that they'll give you opportunities to take classes to get certified in different things. So there are people that are certified in med gas, certified in doing plans, and she was actually going to become someone who draws plans. I forgot what that's called. You draft plans or whatever. And that's awesome. She was going to get into all the cat work and things like that. So, I remember we were talking and it's kind of there's a lot of opportunities. If you're willing to put the work in, there's many opportunities for you. But if you're looking to enter the trades, just go onto your state site, see what kind of unions are open, learn more about each trade, see which one you want to get into, see which one you think you can kind of handle the work for 30 years, and then I would apply, and then just take it from there. And honestly, I'm so glad I did. You know, every day is different. Some days are more difficult than others, but I'm really grateful that I was accepted to the union, that I'm able to grow as a person, and honestly, just working hard and being disciplined is just making me become a more disciplined person all around. And for those of you who are new to my channel, if you look at other videos, I'm doing other things that are you know, focusing more on discipline and just becoming the person that I want to be. Because a lot of times, like, you know, in order to, for me personally, like, I have to be working. I have to be moving around. I have to be doing things, or else I'll just kick it. I'll just kick it all day. Like, I don't, if I'm not doing anything, I'm just hanging out, which I have those days sometimes. But I constantly have to be going. I constantly have goals. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to, you know, really get through this program. I want to make money. I want to provide for my family. I want to give my girls a life that I didn't start out with. You know what I mean? Like, I love my family, and I had a wonderful family, but we grew up very poor, and I want my kids to just have something different, or at least have things socked away for them so their adulthood can be a little bit easier, or they could be starting on a better foot. But I think that joining the trades is a wonderful opportunity, especially for women out there. I know it's hard, and I know there's not many women that do it, but you have my support, especially as a woman who has been in the field for many years. I was out of the field for years, and I was back in the field, so I've been around many different types of people, many different trades, or really just 2 trades, but I guess a couple trades, let's say 4 trades, you know, machining, heavy machine operating, welding, plumbing, and now I just work with other gentlemen that are in different trades. But if you ever need any support, leave a message below. Whoever you are, wherever you are, always leave a comment. I'm always happy to support you. If you have any other questions about joining a trade program, then please do leave a comment below. I hope this video was helpful to you all, and I hope that you're able to get something out of this. I may make a part 2 because I feel like I'm missing a lot, but I have to get back to work. With that said, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I will check you back again on the next video. Take care, friends.